Hey, what's going on, everybody? Have you ever seen a lion in the zoo? It's timid, it's shy. It surely is not savage, all right? You got to get out in the wild if you want to be a savage lion, hunting for your food and making things happen. My guest today, Daniel, is with Savage Roofing. He's doing exactly that in the roofing industry, going out there, making things happen, and growing his business. You're going to hear his story today. All right. Hey, so Daniel, couldn't be happier to have you here with me, man. And I want to talk about just briefly what we were talking about before the camera started rolling. You got a unique business model, brother. You're expanding faster than any other roofing contractor out there. Tell us a little bit about what makes Savage Roofing special and different from the competition.
Hey, man. Thank you for having me on, Patrick. Like I always say, man, we're not your average roofing company, man. We're going savage with it. We're going hard. Like I'm diving deep into it. And we're unique in the form of we're like a triad based roofing company. So when I say that, we're every guy that comes in my company, we put them through a strict boot camp, right? So we vet them very strategically. Not everybody's gonna be a savage. So just like when you go to, the military, you go through boot camp. Not everybody makes it. So we have a 4-week program. We're vetting our sales reps because we feel that we're giving them so much value. They got to prove their right to be here to be savage. And I think that's why that we have this attraction. That's like the word's getting out there. People are wanting to work with us. We've been doing a ton of recruiting, but we get a lot of people that just want to come see what Savage is all about. And I think because we love our reps, we pour into them. I used to be a sales guy. I used to work for a bad contractor. So I know what it feels like. I know what it's like to be unappreciated, undercompensated, and undertrained. And it's a huge problem in our space, right? So with that being said, we're trying to make all of our sales reps licensed public adjusters. We actually host I have a consultant come out and teach a class here at our location where we're going to have one in the next week and a half from now where the teacher's going to come out and hold a class for us. So we have 15 people that are going to be in that class to get trained up, and they pay for that class themselves. And then if they pass the test, I compensate them. Right. So we want them to bring that value to our clients. Right. There's nothing worse when you have a sales guy going on there uneducated about policy, uneducated about process, uneducated about a roof system and what damage actually looks like. And then they're not servicing their clients. Right. They're signing up houses without enough damage. And that's just the worst. Right. You're letting your customer down. You're wasting the insurance company's time. You're wasting the client's time. And most of all, you're just the sales guys wasting their time because of their lack of success, right? So you're coming out there signing up people that are not going to get approved. You're wasting your time with houses that should be getting paid for it with good damage, right? Yes. So our motto is to just sign up the good ones that have the damage, and you're going to be educated in the process because we have several people in our company that are HAG certified. Those that don't know what HAG certified is, like the insurance industry standard of what storm damage looks like. So that way we're educated on our end of what the insurance is actually looking for as far as damage, and just continually just to pour into our reps. So we care.
Yeah. That's what we get. There are two things, Daniel, you just hit on that I think have been a problem in the roofing industry. And for some reason, it's become acceptable. And that's why I wanted to talk to you today, because you said the hell with that stuff. One is mediocrity. I think that somewhere along the line in the roofing industry, we went wrong with mediocrity, because what we did is with these big roofers, what they began to say is, we're just going to run this thing as a mill. I'll accept mediocrity to come in the door to sell me a couple roofs, get rid of them before 90 days, not pay out commissions, and continue my funnel of this mill of roofs that I'm going to throw on there, and the customer service lacked. In my opinion, that's where the roofing industry started to get the bad name, coupled with bad education. So let's go ahead. If we got one of these mill companies, which me and you sounds like we both work for one.
Yeah.
They bring you in, they bring these reps in, as you know, and they give you a day and a half of training at most. They tell you the basic parts of a roof, give you some keys to a truck, and say, go out there and sell a roof now.
Yeah.
Without the education. So you've got mediocrity paired with no education for the sales rep. And then you're wondering why the roofing industry has the reputation that it does. And Savage Roofing is doing what they can to attack that.
Let's toast this up. Let's bang it out.
Hey, here we go. Where's it at, baby? There it is.
And let's dive deep into this, man, because, it's a huge epidemic in our industry of sending out reps to kind of get them to bring in the new claims to the business, and then hoping that they're going to fall off. And it's literally the mindset of most bad owners in the industry. Is what's really made a bad name for good contractors here. I've met a ton of good contractors that just don't know how to train, don't know how to recruit, that don't know how to bring people, don't know how to have that culture in their business, that want to do better, right? But they're just got this bad name because the bad contractors have this model where they just hire anybody just to bring those influx of claims into their business and get them that first ACV payment and then not pay them the second check and the depreciation check, the supplement check, right? And that's literally how they monetize and make money. And they continue with that business model year in and year out. And it's really what's made roofing owners have that bad taste in a lot of insurance companies' mind and mouth, right? They're slandering us, and that's typically why they're fighting our model, right? Mm-hmm. Because we're making homeowners aware that they have damage, but a lot of these homeowners that don't have damage, they're wasting the insurance company's time, right? So we're fighting against that model for several reasons. Personally, I've worked for companies where I didn't get paid on over 6 figures in commissions, right? But I understood that going in. A little bit of background for me. I come from subcontracting. I scaled my company wide as a subcontractor. I was an owner operator in my business. I was the guy putting gutters up, doing siding repairs, doing roof repairs. We had 2 roofing contractors, 4 siding contractors, 2 gutter guys, and a repair guy. So I was very successful in that model because I understand the need of the industry. Right, subcontractors. There's a great business model there that if someone wants to get into that, I could teach you how to be very successful in that model and scale it and make a ton of money, because a lot of contractors have bad subcontractors that don't understand process and business.
That's very true.
I understood it. I learned about business and I dived deep into that, and I learned how to service contractors. And that's what made me get into what I'm doing now. But in order for me to learn what I did now, I had to pay. I had to go sell for a roofing contractor. So I was taking a risk. And with that risk, of course, you go into the snake pit, you're going to get bit, right? So I got bit, and it stinged and it hurt, but I learned. I learned from it and I took from it. And that sting hurt so bad. It was like it infused me with energy. How can I make this space better? How can I be better? And just believing that I am better and just going into a business named Savage because I want to be the disruptor in space. I just want to create a buzz and a whole bunch of noise. But the noise, once they give me the attention, they're like, wow, this is a phenomenal company. Their name is different, but their service is different. They care. Their customer experience is better. My reps are better. They're happy. They're getting paid. They're making money. We're changing lives. We're changing the community, right? We're giving them people that have churches. They have more money to donate to their church. They have savings in their accounts now. Like, how can I come into this space and just really make an impact and a change to be better? And that just starts with having a vision and just seeing it through, man. And I think, I give all glory to God, my Heavenly Father, of course, number one, but my wife has been my biggest impact in pushing me and motivating me. So it's go, because we're men, we have hard days and we want to give up sometimes, but when you have a strong queen behind you, pushing you, shout out to my roof queen, Nicole. She's like, boy, you better get out there and make some money. There ain't no time for you to lay in bed. So yeah, it keeps me motivated, and of course the small micro wins, it just keeps us going, man. So it's been a phenomenal I surprised a lot of people. I've only been in this model 2 years.
Unreal.
This is our second year in this model, but like I said, I come from subcontracting. I used to be a union carpenter. I'm just a homeboy from the hood that lived in obscurity and now living in prosperity, man. Mm-hmm. And I'm just trying to teach other people how to do it, man, how to get it. And it's out there if you want it.
So I was talking with Deshaun Bryant. We did a little joint event yesterday. Somebody that Roof Hustler, who said great things about you. He challenged the contractor that we were in front of. And this made me think of you right now. He said, as a contractor, the whole group was there. He said, what do you do differently than your competition? And then, the first person raises their hand and they say, well, we give good customer service. Yeah, so everybody gives good customer service. Well, we give, everybody puts on a great roof. What concrete can you tell me you are doing differently than your competition? And there are a lot of things that Savage is doing differently to be a better culturally solid company than than your competition. Can you dive into some of the things that you do? I mean, I know we talked about daily meetings, getting that face-to-face interaction, training your people. You guys are doing a lot more than your average roofing company.
Yeah. So power of proximity is important, right? It's been what's changed me and leveled me up in business to get better internally. Like, we're all put here for a purpose on this planet. We were all created by God, and God wants us to produce. And the way you produce is you refine your craft. So I decided within my business, I want to make some really good producers. And in order to do that, it's one thing that I think a lot of owners miss is the training aspect. And we're behind here. We're coming live at you from our shop, which is also our training facility, which is also where we work out daily here. I have a podcast to my left, my podcast room that we're building and under construction now. So like we're leveling ourselves up to really create experts. And I think that's what the industry is missing. There's just a starvation of experts within the space. And how can I bring people in this business, give them something they can be proud of? By making them a public adjuster, you're going to have literally a license that you can hold and have and obtain that is going to give you that sense of pride and something that you've earned. It's a state license that you got to go take a test and pass. You're going to pay for it yourself, right? Because you got to invest in yourself to get better, right? Now you have that sense of pride, and you want to go to that adjuster meeting and be like, I'm a public adjuster. I'm here to serve. Let's talk about this damage that I'm educated on, because my company taught us what real damage looks like, and let's get this homeowner just insured what they're due, right? So I think us just coming from that standpoint of like training, confidence, like we have extreme confidence.
Can I dive into that? I want to interrupt you there, Daniel, but confidence is something that I wanted to ask you this question because honestly, I think in some ways, maybe with a little bit of the same boat. I don't want to toot anybody's horn or anything, but you've taken a company in a couple of years to where everybody wants a little bit of piece of Daniel, and not just for the roofing side, but they want the podcast with you. They want your attention. Do you find it difficult to balance the Daniel that everybody wants out there because they want the motivation, they want the guy they see on Instagram, with running your company and scaling what you're trying to do within your business?
Absolutely. And I think the most thing that's important to me right now is my health, right? That's far and foremost my priority right now is my health and bettering my relationship with not only God and my wife, right? So those are the things that are important for me that I'm trying to work on this year, and just finding that time in the morning. So like a lot of us need to get up at 4 a.m. because we have so much disruption and so much noise throughout our days that it's not an option. It's just like, it's no mistake that the most successful people in the world get up earlier, right? You have to, right? Because you're getting pulled in every which direction. But I think you bring up something that is something that I did. It was bring on a partner. Okay. And I brought in a family member into my business this year. Well, actually last year, but he's really committed to us full time this year. And my shout out to my brother-in-law Diego. He's really helped me scale. Right, I read a book, and it's like this book called Rocket Fuel. Let me see if I can find the author of this book. This is a phenomenal book, and it really describes the two importance of the roles that are necessary for business, right? You have your visionary, which I believe I'm the visionary in the business. Right. You found it?
No. I'm saying you got the visionary out here. I got you.
Yeah, the visionary. And then you have the one that has to implement the business, the daily in and out operations to run the business. My brother-in-law has really adopted that role. He helps me run both our offices, and like he's in the daily operations part of the business, right? I could not have been able to scale and focus on our reps and the training and the vision of the business, if I had to get the daily phone calls, the customer service aspect of it, the quality control, like he's really taken on those roles and processes and developed them because he comes from a office background and setting as well. So he's bringing value to my business because he's brought up in that environment, where versus I'm more of the in the field roughneck. I was an installer. I was in the dirt. I was in the grit. I was building teams, but I was building teams on the subcontractor side. So I've been able to couple with my brother-in-law and understanding business. I need someone that's a little bit more refined and understands business and process, and that can handle my daily operations side while I grow the visionary side. And I think that's super crucial for business to scale, because you cannot do it all by yourself. There's very few owners that I see that have been successful at that are doing it by themselves, whether it's their wife or they have a partner. There's always someone in behind the scenes that's not in the limelight, but is there taking care of business, paying the bills, making sure things are running smoothly. And when problems are come up, they can handle them quickly. And that's my brother-in-law. He does that for us here.
And see, Daniel, what I think is so special about a partnership like that, and this is what I tell my roofing contractors who are considering a partnership, is don't just find someone who complements what you're maybe not as good at, but find someone who their principles and their values are the same as yours. And it sounds like you found that in your brother-in-law.
Absolutely. And I seen it in him for a long time, right? He was, he worked, my family comes from a background working for the railroad. My dad was a 35-year at the Union Pacific. He retired from there. My uncle worked there. Both my brother-in-laws worked there. I almost became a railroader lifer too, because that's a job you get and you're just for life. But I seen him where he just had this passion to do something else. He was always looking for that side hustle. He was always trying to do something, whether or not it was truck driving or opening up a little stand of doing some kind of business over here. He was always looking for something else, right? There was something lacking there. And then when I started growing my business house, and I offered him the idea. I was like, bro, why don't you just come on with me, man? Like, let's tear this roofing game up. Like, we know we both have this hunger in our belly to grow and monetize and do more for our families and our communities. And we both come from the same neighborhood. We understand lack. We understand adversity. We understand obscurity. We know what it is to do without. And phenomenal back end. Like, we both had this passion to just get better and show people that we could do it and win. So like when I brought him in, it was easy. It was like we just took off running with it, right? And to this day, we have huge vision of where we're taking this, and we're excited, man. This is just the beginning, right? This is just the beginning of Savage. Like, and we're scaling this to be all across the country, and that's our goal, to be a scalable franchise. So,
and I think you guys are well on your way. But what is that motivation in you, Daniel? I mean, what gets you up at 4:00? Because I got roofing contractors out there who got no energy, man. And yet you're out there, you're running this multi-million-dollar company. You're expanding your social media presence is expanding by the day. You got a podcast going on over here. You're working out. What is it in your belly that gets? Is it family? Is it that fear of loss of not winning? Is it this desire to be better? Is it pride? What is it inside of you that says, man, I'm doing it each and every day, and it's going to be consistent in growing Savage Roofing?
Yeah, so for me, number one is I'm a reborn again Christian, right? I kind of upset my mom, right? My mom is a Catholic, has been a lifetime Catholic.
Okay.
And I love my mom, I love my family. But just wanting to just do better for my family and just service my wife. And she's been there for me in the beginning, from the start. She's believed in me, and I just don't want to let her down, right? And I have four children. I have 3 of them under the age of 4, so I have a big why. I have 3 children that I have to show an example to, that I want to change their life, and I want to have generational wealth for my children, right? And it's not like I have phenomenal parents, man. They have bred the DNA hustle. My mom had always had 2 or 3 jobs. My mom was that hustler that was selling gold, Mary Kay, and having a full-time job at the bank, right? My mom always held 2 to 3 jobs at all the time. My dad was a lifer at the railroad, always picking up second shifts, always, putting in overtime to provide for us, to give us the best life that they could. But what happened with that? There was that lack of parenting. They weren't there. They were always working, right? But how can I develop a business where it's going to be the number one asset that we cannot get, which is time, right? How can I make a business that can run without me being there? So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to develop a system and a model that's going to require me to show up and be a part of the visionary aspect of it, the growth aspect, the expansion and betterment for our community, but like also me being most importantly there to spend time with my family, my children, to be there, to parent them, to show them there's other ways to make money.
Daniel, I wanted to, I'm sorry.
Really quick, that changed me. I read a book, right? Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki.
Yes.
Changed my game completely, right? It's the first book I ever read as an adult, and 35 years old, never read a book in my life. Read this book cover to cover. And he's very smart in the way he writes his book, because he writes really small chapters. They're like 6, 7 pages to a chapter. So you're reading this book and you're just like, dude, I can read. I just read 5 chapters today, right? So it builds up your confidence and you read and it motivates you to finish the book. Read the book in like 3 or 4 days, and it just blew my mind. Really changed my concept of understanding what money is. It's nothing I ever learned in school. Which I didn't spend much time there anyways, but it really just changed my whole theory and concepts of what money is and what it is and what we're supposed to do with it. And it set me on this journey and this path to just, change my family's generational wealth, right? That's what my mission is right now, help and impact as many people as possible, because if I can help more people get what they want in return, I'll get what I want. So that's the mission.
That's great stuff. I want to, typically when people see you right now, they're seeing a successful company that's growing. They're attracted to your energy, the savageness, if you want to look at it that way, of what you bring to the table. I love it. And so do so many people, man. Everybody who interacts with you says the same thing. And I've talked to a few people, guys like Deshaun. Mm-hmm. But I want to get real with you for a minute here, if we can, and because I think you'll appreciate this. Can you rewind a little bit to those times when you needed your wife the most? Because you brought it up a couple times. The roofing industry has extreme highs and extreme lows. Mm-hmm. What is it, man? Can you rewind to that time for me and say, hey, how did you get through it? What was going on during that time of your life? And what advice would you give to a roofer who's there in Louisiana right now, or anywhere, Mississippi, who's just, man, he's barely holding on right now, and mm-hmm. he's struggling?
Well, you have to develop and believe somehow that you're here for a reason, right? When you're at rock bottom, which I've been there several times in life, you question a lot of things of why you're here and if you even belong here. But you must believe and know that there's a higher power out there, and you're here for a reason, and you have to fulfill that reason. You have to dig deep in yourself, and then once you feel like okay, and you make that decision, I'm here. What is it that I'm good at? What am I? Whether if it's roofing or not roofing, this is for everybody. What have I been something that I feel like I like and that I'm good at, and I can build on that. Take that little bit and dive deep into it. Put everything you got into it. And I created this planner for a lot of my people here and for everybody. Savage Grind Plan. Write it down. Write it down. Put it on paper. There's power in this.
Yes.
Start planning your future. Write it down, what it looks like. As hard as it may be to make, and a lot of this might be fairy tale to yourself, but it doesn't matter. What is the best version of me look like? What would I like to see that be in 5 years, 2 years, 3 years? Put it on a piece of paper and then just start chipping away every single day, having a really, really purposeful life of how can I make this better, what I believe that I'm good at, and I can be of service and of value to the marketplace or to my community or to my family, and just going in 100% on that. So when I was rock bottom, for me, all I could think of what I've been good at was working with my hands in construction. I've been in construction since I was 20 years old. And I was like, this is all I know. This is what I'm good at. I know how to build roofs. I know how to do siding. I know how to put gutters and windows. I could do an addition. So you know what? I'm really going to dive deep into a construction business. Yep. So naturally, I created a subcontracting business because I was good at being a owner operator, and that's what I'm doing. And through that, I figured out like there's a better way to do that business, and how can I just be an owner and develop and make a better process of that? So we're evolving every day. But for the best piece of advice I can give to someone that's at rock bottom is like, man, just dig into yourself and like figure out what is the one thing that you're good at. What is the one thing that people, because we all have something. We all have a gift of greatness. Some of us just need to just really focus and figure out what that is and just dive into that, because God gave us all a gift. We all have greatness. It's our obligation and our duty to find it and be of service to the rest of the world and show everybody else that we have that gift and be of service. And once we start doing that and start serving other people and stop feeling sorry for ourselves, it's a game changer, right? Because it takes your mindset off of me, and you start developing this humility and this service mindset. And I have been 100% of service mindset to my people, to my clients, to my wife, to my children, and to my higher power. And then with that, I've been able to just scale and find success, because eventually it's going to come back. That's what I believe.
You know, I love how you say that. When you're at your lowest point, find what you are good at. You can find one thing that you are talented at and go all in on that. Now, I want to say that mine started, I've never told this story, but why I'm thinking of it right now, but it started in the 3rd grade. I remember it with dinosaurs. Okay. I'm going to tell you this right now. I was not a smart kid, and we were learning about dinosaurs in 3rd grade. And I couldn't get the names of the damn dinosaurs down, like Stegosaurus, Brontosaurus, bullshit like that. And there was this damn kid in class who was very smart, I guess, in 3rd grade. And he picked up on like the names of the dinosaurs. And the fact that I couldn't articulate it, I got made fun of. And I remember that pain of being like, I'm stupid. I can't memorize the damn names of these dinosaurs. We had to give a presentation on those names of the dinosaurs, our favorite one. And I studied for the damn Stegosaurus like you wouldn't believe. All right. And what I found is that during my presentation, I had a voice that was very intense for people. And from there, that translated into athletics, and it was intense there. I may not have always been the smartest. I'm not ever going to be the most athletic, but I can bring the most intensity. And that's where I thought, okay, Patrick, you've got to bring intensity to conversations. Now, for some people, that's going to be too much, and that's okay. But when I was at my lowest point, I hadn't identified that. I had forgotten that. And I'd said, you're just a stupid guy. You're just a big, dumb meathead jock. No one's going to take you seriously. You know what? Every time you walk into a room, they're just looking at you as some Midwest guy with a low IQ who could barely string together some sentences. But I think that by putting just something so simple as that is, okay, I know how to bring intensity to a conversation more than the person in front of me. Savage Roofing, you named it Savage. You keep a promise to yourself that you're going to be savage day in, day out. It's like you're promising that to yourself, man. Those principles and those values coupled with your humility has given you a place in the industry you've kind of carved out for yourself that is incredible. I wonder for you, do you worry about keeping grounded and you keep those principles where they're at with the amount of success that you've had?
I don't worry about stuff I can't control, number one. And I give all glory to God. And I move and I do everything with extreme confidence because I know Jesus has got my back. And I believe that every single day. And it's helped me not worry about the minute problems and the small things in my business that I cannot get tied up with. I got to keep growing this thing, building this movement. What we did, we're not your average roofing company. We are Savage, and we got to keep building this brand, building this model, because that's what we were put here to do, right? Is bring this immense service lack that's been epidemic to our space and make it better and give people a better customer experience. I'm obsessed with 3 things in my business right now. And number one is making my customer experience better. Number 2 is training and developing my business. And three, of course, is data. I want the data in my business. I want to know who my ideal clients are. I want to know who my ideal sales rep is. I want to know everything is tracked and brought to the owners through data. And it's super important to me to just capture as much data and information as possible to make better people, better reps, better experiences, and just try to be better every single day. And I don't worry about the small stuff because I know God's got my back.
So what are you working on personally right now, Daniel, personally, to be better in this year for your company? What is your purpose right now? Where's your focus at personally right now?
Personally right now, I can honestly say it's been my fitness. I really lost, like, it's funny. I shared a video on Facebook right now from 4 years ago, and dude, I'm like 80 pounds lighter.
Awesome.
And it's crazy, that I let myself go, over this course of 4 years. And so right now I want to get back to my fitness, and I want to know where I know I can look better and feel better eternally. So I'm focusing on that personally, but within my business, I'm just I pride myself on not having a set system in my business. I've been able to pivot through COVID last year, and it brought us so much value that we didn't have like a defined process, and that we were able to adjust and pivot and change. So right now, I'm just bringing new systems into my business and market testing them and seeing them what's going to work and not work. So I really like just market testing stuff. Right. And I enjoy bringing something new in and seeing if we can implement it to work. Like, we're doing some back end office stuff to change up the game and trying to get stuff paid for more on the front end rather on the back end. So it's theory. A lot of it's theory sometimes. I don't know, but we don't know unless we try. And I think a lot of guys are just scared to try. And I'm so new to the game, I'm not afraid to try. Right. Let's keep this. Here's some nugget that I can kind of drop on everybody to bring some value if you're in the roofing space. What I've seen work for interior damage, right? We're going to dive deep into actually specifics that can help someone with their business that's a roofer.
Let's do it.
I've literally got interior approvals just based off of pictures and a really good estimate. If I can be able to tell a story through my photography and my documentation, like treating it as an actual crime scene, like, this is what the room looks like. Here's the actual damage up close. Here's what the room looks like from afar. I'm giving pictures of every angle. I'm drawing a diagram with the measurements, with also my measurement tool, and just showing extreme documentation, writing an estimate for it that's going to resemble my photo documentation. I've gotten interiors approved without sending an adjuster out there.
That's great stuff, man.
What if I can do this for my roofing? Think about that. Is it possible right now to get a roof approved without sending an adjuster? Right? We're seeing through COVID, it's changed some of the space, right? Most people see it as I'm not sure about for roofing, because I've seen a lot of people very successful through COVID on the roofing side, but it's changed the mindset of the insurance companies. Hey, we can get roofs approved and bought without having to send a physical body to the location.
Sure.
Right. So now the insurance companies are seeing that is something that is possible to do that. But I think just roofers have to evolve and just have the mindset, put yourself in the desk adjuster's mindset. If he has the ability to approve an estimate and supplement and have the proper documentation, there very well might be a possibility to get an approval for that claim without physically sending an adjuster there. You don't think they want to get rid of the field adjusters?
Of course they do.
Of course.
That's
the cost to a business. If you can figure out a way to limit a cost to a business, they're going to adopt that new process in their business. So what if we can be the facilitators of that? So this is something that I'm market testing as we speak right now, how to just dive really deep into better documentation, better pictures, better information, just to help my desk adjusters make better decisions. So I don't have to fight them on the back end for a supplement. So I don't have to just have the continual escalation from desk adjuster to management to upper management to just get an approval on a supplement. It's agonizing and it's unjust to our clients, right? And it hurts a roofing business model with AR. We need our money, right? We need our money to grow, to evolve, to scale. And the insurance companies are fighting that model. But if we can just prove on the front end, hey, we have a legitimate case here with legitimate damage. Here's the proof. I'm a business. This is my estimate of what I believe it's supposed to cost. This is market fair value because we're building it off of Xactimate, and this is what it is. Pay us.
Everything that you're talking about there, Daniel, is exactly why my business partner and I started My Claims Care.
Absolutely.
And, you know what we do. Do you guys have a CRM like an AccuLynx or something like that you're using?
Yeah, we use AccuLynx, and I'm actually fortunate enough. My wife's brother-in-law is a certified builder in Salesforce, so I'm working one-on-one directly with a builder to build our own CRM in Salesforce. That's really customizable to us. But for the moment, I love AccuLynx because I think it has the best integrations with technology, so we can pull our Eagle views. It's got real-time price adjustments with ABC. I can QuickBooks adaptable.
Yep.
It has the most integrations that I like to kind of streamline stuff for us. I love just look at. I'm literally that dumb roofer at one point, but I'm literally set down that dumb roofer brain and put on this new smart. I'm intelligent. I love process. I love systems. I wanna just delegate and have stuff as simple as possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really big on technology and trying to evolve as a company to be a wide scale, because if you're a roofing business, are you really a business, right? What exactly do you have as assets in your business that makes you so-called business? Just because you're collecting money from either business to business or business to client, are you really, can you put a dollar value on what your company's worth? Right. I'm trying to develop something to actually be like, hey, someone might offer me a couple, 3, 4, 5 millions for that business because it works. Right. So that's what we're trying to do. Not that I want to sell it because I love the name. I love what we're doing. And I think we do it the best. Right. But that's what everybody should be thinking about and striving for, is to get yourself in point in business where it's, hey, someone's going to offer you 9 figures for that business, 8 figures for that business, right? So that's what we're trying to do here. And
so we haven't talked about what we did with My Claims Care. What I'd like to do, if it's okay with you, is run you by. Me and you don't know. This is the first time we're going to talk about it. So I'd like to run it by you. Tell me what you think. What we do for roofing contractors. Is that all right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we started as a collections company, man, for contractors. So we saw a bunch of contractors with the same problem, which was insurance. You know, the reason you love insurance is because you can get more money for it than you can with retail per square. But the reason people hate insurance is all the minutia and the bullshit that goes with tracking down the money, not being paid, dealing with insurance adjusters, dealing with carriers, bank endorsements, you name it. So what we did is we said, how would we put ourselves out of business? How would I put my collections company out of business from all these collection files we're getting? And we said, well, what if we just paid the contractor up front and we took all the work off them? We outsourced their back office, which is exactly what we do. So what happens in our system for a roofing contractor is when they open up the claim, they do that contingency agreement. They use a program like AccuLynx, and you tag us in through AccuLynx. So we become a user in your system, like a 1099 employee. And then what we do is we do a welcome call with the homeowner as a Savage Roofing back office, so that we are acting as a back office for our contractor, welcoming that person to the team. We're just endearing that person to the contractor even more. So what we do then is, if the contractor wants, we write the estimate. If they don't, they write the estimate themselves. It can go either way. But the beauty of it is, once the estimate is approved, the contractor is not waiting on any checks. They're not waiting on endorsements. They're not waiting on insurance proceeds to ever be released. They're just moving right to production as quickly as possible. I don't care if it's 2 days later if you can do it. Once you get the roof approved, you move right to production. The kicker is this, is that once that roof is done, you submit the COC through AccuLynx or whatever, Job Nimbus, and I fund you the RCV immediately. I wire you that funds. So again, you're not worried about depreciation, not worried about endorsements. You're not worried about any of that. I kick it up with a completion call with the homeowner, like we talked about the customer service side. So I do that because I don't want the homeowner to ever come back and bite my contractor in the ass. So I do a completion call with the homeowner where what we're doing is pushing for the positive referrals, the positive Google ratings. It's a recorded call, which we explain to the homeowner, making sure that they're not going to hold on to that depreciation check because their rose bush got destroyed.
That's amazing. I love this. Everything you're saying, I love it.
Yeah. So what we're doing is we're eliminating AR for contractors. So now you never wait on a check ever again. The kicker also at the very end is that you obviously have an endorsement check that's coming. So once that endorsement check is approved, then we'll fund you that as well. And I'll chase down that endorsement check, which traditionally every sales rep hates to go get, and it usually goes to the homeowner. So what I wanted to do was eliminate AR, eliminate that burden for contractors so they could have peace of mind. Because here's the problem, man. And this is, I hate this for I hate this. As your business grows with insurance, so does your AR. So you go from doing, 20 roofs a month to doing 30. Well, you did more roofs, but also you're waiting on more money. And my contractors tell me, they go, well, I'll get that money. Well, as soon as you get that money, there's another 500,000 that's out there that you don't have access to. And then as you grow, it becomes 1 million and then 2 million. And you always, as you're growing your business, don't have access to capital because you're constantly chasing your own tail, trying to get insurance proceeds and endorsements. And there's no guarantee on when you have that money. So my idea was turn insurance into retail so that you finish a job, you're paid for the job. A supplement's approved, get the supplement. And then everybody can go about their way and you can grow and scale the business quicker. That was the idea that we had. So that's what I do out there on social media. I just want to get people paid quicker and have them stop bowing, and what I say, bowing down to the insurance company, because insurance doesn't care about the contractor. They're there to make money and make a profit.
Absolutely. And
so
it's I love everything that you're talking about, because that's literally how you create a business. You create a business because you realize a pain point within the space, right? If you can figure out a way to accommodate someone's pain point, you're going to have a successful business. And I love that. And it's been a huge burden for us last year. We scaled immensely and we didn't stop. And we accumulated over 2 million in AR. And it's been pain agonizing collecting it, right? We still have some AR, but thank God it's not 2 million no more. But you're absolutely 1000% correct. It's the number one reason insurance companies know how to destroy roofing business models is holding their AR, finding ways to deny them, to delay the process, deny, delay, right? That's their two things they love to do. Most men love double D's. We hate it in the roofing industry, right? Delay, deny, right? So those are the dreaded 2 Ds. Roofers don't like. When it's supposed to be, we do like it. But again, you're finding a way to overcome that, and I love that. We can talk more about that. I'm interested in hearing more about this and what your company has to offer and letting people know about it, because it is a huge, huge problem within our space, right? It's been the number one reason why people can't scale. Right? They can't hire, they can't get the things they need in their business, like trucks and equipment. They can't pay their guys, right? And that's horrible. I pay myself last always, right? I still take a W-2 check from my business, just the bare minimum check, and I put everything back into the pot. And I think that's one practice that I can help owners is pay yourself a sensible salary, right? That where you're contributing to your business. And the day you stop contributing to your business, guess what? That paycheck should stop too. It's going to hold yourself accountable. If you're just not working within your, helping your business grow, and you're not doing that performance, your pay should measure that as well. But Patrick, that's awesome. I love that you're doing that for contractors. That's amazing.
And I really do appreciate that, man. We really try hard to keep it simple, because I want to help contractors grow their business with peace of mind. And it's very difficult when you're doing a good job and you're crushing it out there and you're sitting there going, fuck, we put on 10 roofs. I don't have the money for 10 roofs. My guys are expecting commissions for those 10 roofs that they sold. And you're sitting there and you're like, man, I'm doing everything right, but these companies are screwing me over and I can't scale and grow. And I
Right.
hate that for people, because if you do a good job, if you do things the right way, the system itself should not hold you back. And I don't care what area, it could be personal in life, professional. If you can't have the rules of the game should not change for certain people and then not for others. It's got to be consistent. So if you put in the work and you do things the right way, you should be able to scale your business as a roofing contractor. And sometimes you got over that edge, man. You got over that hump, if you want to look at it that way, in my opinion. But so many contractors are not able to, and they blame themselves, man. And then we talked about those guys who are down on themselves, and I hate it for them because they're struggling and there's no need for it. They don't even know there's a company like My Claims Care that can stop them bleeding for them immediately.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's amazing that you have that ability to help people with AR, man. That's a game changer. Definitely more people need to know about that. We'll be having a conversation about it as well, see how we can help us out with that. I would love to hear more off the air. And that's cool, man.
I appreciate it.
I love it.
Can I dive a little bit more? I know we only got a few more minutes left, man, with you. So I think that so many people want to know a little bit more about you. I know I do. I mean, when you talk about Savage Roofing, if I was going to draw a picture of a guy, when you said Savage Roofing, it would be you. Okay. So that's what I love about you. You've got this image, you got the gym going on, bro. You look great. You look like Savage Roofing. Don't lose that. But people want to know you, man. So can you talk to me about what does a morning look like to you? I know you're up early, but what is a mindset like for Daniel, a Savage roofer, when he gets up in the morning, bro?
Yeah, and then I read this book, and again, you're gonna hear me talk about and reference books a lot because it's something that I started doing only 4 years ago, and it's crazy, right? It's been 4 years that I've really dived into my own self-development. Morning Miracle, right? Phenomenal book that you have to carve out that time for yourself in the morning, right? So getting up a little bit earlier. Now that it's, for the Midwest here, it gets the sun comes up earlier. So I like getting up at 4 now. Before it was 5. I could, no matter what, I could not sleep in past 5 anyways, right? But now I try to get up a little bit earlier, give myself some time to meditate. I like to just, whether if it's 15 minutes, 10 minutes, to just give gratitude to my higher power and just appreciation. And not only for myself, but casting out to other people. Like, that's super important. It's not about just me. I'm really appreciative of this person or this sales rep today. I'm really appreciative of Jose Content being able to come here and help me set up for this podcast today. Like, being very specific and giving out some gratitude and homage to other people, I think is very important, that it's not just always about me. Right. And then, of course, I have a drive to the shop and to the office. We have 3 locations right now. So I'm always driving. So when I'm driving, I'm always listening to some kind of either podcast or a book, an Audible, and getting some audio and something to learn. Right. I'm always trying to learn something new every day. And then actually coming and being present and having manager meetings here daily with my guys has been huge, has been the number one game changer for us in business. Just setting the expectation, setting the tone, just really just getting everybody to come and collaborate and do that mastermind in the morning, especially with managers, has just helped us set the pace for our supervisors and then our lead public adjusters and all their downlines, right? We know what we're doing and what the goal is. So that morning has really changed everything for me, right? And it's helped me just build and scale the business, right? Yeah, and it's, again, this is new. This is only 4 years. So this is what's phenomenal, right? And like, people need to wrap their head around this, because this is how crazy it is. I was probably the least person that most people would expect it to be successful, right? Because I come from a bad neighborhood. I wasn't supposed to be here, right? I actually took a bullet to the neck. I'm supposed to be number 1 quadriplegic right now, but I'm not. Because of God's grace, I'm still walking, right? I've been able to overcome so much obscurity, and not because, I had a rough life and no, because I purposely put myself in bad situations, right? I was a part of a gang life culture for such a long time of my life as a young adult, and as a grown adult, right? And I had choices, and I made a bunch of bad choices. But here's what's phenomenal about life, right? You can be at rock bottom. You can be all the way down there at the low, and you can transform yourself. I am the epitome of transformation. I am the epitome of disruption. I'm not supposed to be here, but guess what? I'm here, and I made it here, and I'm gonna make a whole bunch of noise, and it gives some impact back to my people, get some motivation back. Like, hey, just because you're here doesn't mean that you can't be over here next year. So what does that mean? You have to continually get better, refine your craft, and pour into yourself, because you got to add value back to the other people. So that's what I'm doing every single day. How can I give back to my people? I might have hurt some people in my past, but guess what? I'm gonna help way more people in my present than I've hurt in my past. So that's my mission. That's my goal. And you know what? Just not being average, man. We're being savage every single day.
So what do you tell those people then, Daniel? The ones that say, "Man, you should keep quiet over there, man. Don't make any noise over there. Just stay in your lane." And this savage thing is too much, all right? It's
Yeah.
just a little too loud for me. What do you say to those people, man?
Go get a life.
That's right, baby. I love it.
Go do something.
You're gonna have those people, brother. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
unfortunately, they say, he's a little too loud for me. He's a little too much. Looks a little too savage for me. Fuck it. There's always going to be somebody who says, you're something.
Yeah.
People say I'm a little too intense with my conversations or whatever. I'd rather be too intense or too savage than be a little timid or a little too shy. I mean, that's just me. I'd rather be on the other side of that spectrum. And it sounds like you, man, you found such a way to ground yourself through your family and God and your principles. It's no surprise that everybody wants to be a part in some way of the Savage Roofing success, man. And congratulations on that,
Thank
man.
you. I really, really do appreciate that. I love that, man. It's just look at, and I say this to my salespeople all the time. Not every person's created equal, right? You just got to find what you're good at and just dive into it and go help some people with whatever your niche is and what your craft is. And for those people that think I'm too loud or too noisy, I'm sorry, I can't help you. It ain't gonna stop, and we're not gonna stop. We're gonna grow this, and we're gonna evolve, and it's just gonna be, compounding effect, because we believe in what we're doing. And that's like with any successful person that sees some type of success, right? You're going to have naysayers, and you're going to have people that are going to want to pull you down because they see you changing, they see you evolving, they see you getting better. Of course, people are more comfortable, when you're the same and stay the same and don't grow, and you stay part of the pack, you stay part of that little group of people, right? They're going to be the number one naysayer. Sometimes that's family, right? That just holds you back, and they're the number one people that are going to be like, oh, you're going to do that, really? And that lucky for me, like, I noticed that in my 20s, like when I started thinking different and wanted to be different and try different stuff. Like, a lot of people don't know, I actually ran 2 marathons in my life, and I was really, really, really into like dieting, and I was actually a vegetarian at one point. And
Good.
for most, especially if you're coming from a Latino, Hispanic background, like, what do you mean you're not going to eat meat? You're not going to eat tacos? What, are you crazy? Right? You're like, well, hell, if you're going to order those tacos with no meat, give me the meat.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So, just little things like getting past that. And I think it kind of set me up to just always just thinking outside of the box, being different, and just seeing goals, right? Same thing when we wrote the book, right? Like, oh, you're going to write a book? Who are you to write a book, right? I have a book. It's called From Average to Savage. You can find it on Amazon. Actually, if you hit me up in my DM at savage.grind on Instagram, I'll give you a free copy of my book. I'll give you a planner. Savage Grind Planner, write down your goals, because we just want to hear it, but here to help. But like, yeah, you have to get past the naysayers. Definitely. We don't care.
Yeah, as you grow, there are going to be individuals that try to pull you down, and I think that's when you've hit something that's special. when you have somebody tell you to do something different, hey, that's too much, you've gone too far. I think that's when you've got to push the chips to the middle of the pot, because they found something though that's disrupting somebody. And for every person that you disrupt with your system, some naysayer, somebody who tries to pull your ass down, you're making somebody else's life better. And I think that the focus for individuals like you, I think that where you've found some success is that you focused on, hey, listen, you know what? I may not be for you, but there's a lot of people that I can help through my writing. There's a lot of people that I can help through my voice on social media, through generating a wonderful customer service experience with my company. It sounds like you found that niche for yourself that just gives so much value to you as a person, on top of the grounded principles in God. I think you've really found something that's special there, man. Congratulations.
No, thank you. I appreciate everything you're doing too, Patrick. I seen you. Shout out to my man Lee Haight. He just hosted a couple weeks back the Blue Collar Dream Conference. You were there. You were like the center of attention on the outside of the stage, right? And you were out there doing podcasts, doing interviews, you had this very like drawn presence to you. And that was the first time that I seen. I was like, "Who's that dude over there? He's huge. He's swole, and he's got this dynamic presence like that. People are drawn to you as well." And that when I got this opportunity to jump on a podcast, I was like, "Oh yeah, definitely, let's do it." That dude looks like a rock star, and lo and behold, you have a huge heart for us roofing contractors out there, and you're helping us, and you have a business model that's helping us as roofers. Like, dude, we need more people like you on the planet as well, man. Like, you're doing big things. I can't wait to do business with you. And like, man, you're a huge influence to me as well, man. I love it.
Well, let's keep on doing that. Let's keep it up with the social media side, because if me and you can influence this thing in a positive way, then it's great for the industry. It's great for people that are just starting out to see the good and the bad. We document so much, and I've been trying to do that more, to document some of the bad that we have.
Oh yeah,
because I think that's important for people to see. It's not all rosy. And I love to see your journey right now. I'm watching the fitness stuff, and I love it, man. I'm motivated by the video you put out. I think it was last week. I mean, I was motivated by that. I was sitting in front of my gym, like, drinking my Bang Energy. Like, I was like, shit, I can't let him outdo me today. So I just, you don't know how much impact that some of the things you do mean to people. I mean, that video might have just gotten a like from me, but for me, that changed my perspective of that evening for me, which allowed me to be a better version of myself for my company and my personal life as well. Just that hardcore music and you lifting. I mean, that's where it's at for me. So please keep doing what you're doing. And if there's ever anything, we'll work together. I'll tell you about the My Claims Care stuff. We'll get the emails and start sending some information, but whatever I can do on a personal level, man, from between you and I'd love to make it happen. Okay.
Awesome. I love it. I appreciate the offer. I love it.
Anything else you got for anything else for the roofing contractors out there that you think they need to know to finish this thing out? Maybe the future. What does it hold? What should we expect to see in the next 12 months from Daniel and from Savage Roofing to close us out?
Man, we're growing. We're growing. You're going to see a lot more, of course, like you've been saying, documentation. I'm actually going to hire a full-time personal cameraman to follow me around. So we're going to have a lot more vlogging, a lot more content going out there. You're going to see a lot more reps. I'm scaling. I never stop scaling. We're going to keep recruiting and bringing people on and just trying to see how much impact and change we can make to the space. And if I can give it one bit of advice to any contractor that's out there right now is, man, put your money in some marketing. I think it's like I love door to door, right? It's changed my love door to door, right? But that's just one aspect of it, right? You got to be transcend across all mediums, right? It can't just be door to door. You have to be present on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, Google. You got to get the mailers out there. You got to have a billboard. You got to have our loud trucks. I just got another truck wrapped, right? I wish I could take this and show you my truck. I love the new truck.
Send me a picture, man. Send me a picture.
So like you got to spend some money in marketing, and I think it's super important for roofers to be present. Like, it's a number one. Grant Cardone talks about this. It's the number one problem most people have in business. Just nobody knows you, They don't know. They don't know who you are. How do people get to know you? You gotta make them know you. You gotta be purposeful and mindful. Hey, look at me, right? So that's one bit of advice I can get to my roofers. Man, get noticed. That's what you gotta do.
People aren't going to buy your product if they don't know that you're there. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not. I mean, it's not tough, and people definitely know that you're there, man. And I cannot wait to see what you continue to do. And you're doing it the right way. And I hope that we can become closer friends, colleagues over the next year. And keep in contact with me through the social media side. If we ever need to do a collaboration, or there's ever something that my claims care of me personally can help Savage with, it would truly be a pleasure.
Yeah, most definitely. Same extension for me on my end. If anything, I can bring any value to you guys over there. Maybe we can do a collabo speaking event or anything. Bringing back some value to the industry. I would love to help and chime in and do whatever I can to be of value to anybody.
November 6th, keep your eye open for it. We are going to host a conference, myself and 2 other individuals. I'd love to have Savage Roofing there. It'll be in Melbourne. It's on the east coast of Florida. So I just it's going to be a 1-day event, and I can't see a way in the world that we don't have Savage as a part of that event. To tell the story, to talk about the book, to talk about how to make that difference and life-changing just commitments to yourself. So I'm going to talk to you more about that, but that's coming up November the 6th. I look forward to having you be a part of that event. So thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Take care, brother. Talk to you later, buddy.
All right, man. Like I always say, don't be average. Go be savage.